She finally said the words she spent years hiding, not in anger, not in regret, just a heavy truth that showed how long she had been breaking in silence. For so long, Nicole protected his image, holding the secret like a wound she refused to touch. She believed keeping it quiet would save them. She believed carrying the weight alone was better than facing what it meant. But the truth kept growing, and the marriage that once felt steady began slipping out of her hands. She tried to pretend the pain was normal, but each night reminded her of the moment everything shifted. It wasn't one fight or one mistake. It was a pattern she could no longer ignore. Breaking her silence wasn't dramatic. It was survival. And when she finally spoke, her voice didn't shake. It simply settled in the room like something that had waited too long to be heard. In her latest interview, she ended with one line that stunned everyone listening. In that moment, and this is where I stopped recognizing the man I loved. If you want to dive deeper into the dark secret behind Keith Urban's past, don't miss the next part. Make sure you subscribe and stay with us until the end of this story. When the cameras shut down, the world saw a perfect couple walk away. But behind those closed doors, the silence grew heavier than any spotlight. Nicole carried a calm smile for the world, yet inside, she was holding a storm she never dared to name. Every red carpet became a mask. Every interview became a test of strength. She learned how to breathe through pain while pretending it didn't exist. In the quiet of their home, the truth lived closer to the surface. The pressure of fame, the long nights, and the distance that slowly crept between them started shaping their days. She tried to hold the pieces together, hoping it was just a rough chapter they would survive. But something inside her kept whispering that this was different, that this pain wasn't fading. It was growing. Halfway through those years, something happened that fans never knew about. A moment so sharp, so sudden, it shifted the whole story. She walked into a room and found a side of him she didn't recognize. And in that instant, she knew the life she was holding up for the cameras was no longer real. It was the first sign that something deeper, something darker, had already taken root. And she realized she couldn't outrun it. It started small, little moments most people ignored. A strange pause during an interview. A smile that didn't reach his eyes, a red carpet moment where Nicole's hand slipped from his, and she covered it with a laugh that felt too quick, too thin. At the time, fans brushed it off as stress or exhaustion. But now, looking back, every tiny shift feels like a warning sign quietly flashing behind their perfect photo. Nicole noticed it first in the way he avoided certain questions, how he'd grow tense when someone mentioned their future, how his answers became shorter, colder, like he was trying to hide something even from himself. She felt him drifting, not in distance, but in a darkness he wouldn't name. And each time she reached for him, she felt a little more of that darkness slip through her finger. Then came the moment that changed everything. A backstage clip leaked online, just a few seconds long. At first, it didn't seem like much. He was standing alone, staring at the floor, rubbing his hands together like he was fighting something inside. But then Nicole walked up behind him, gently touched his arm, and he flinched, hard, as if her presence hurt. Fans argued about it for weeks, calling it stress or a bad day. But now, after her revelation, that clip suddenly makes sense. It wasn't stress. It wasn't a bad day. It was the darkness he couldn't control. Nicole later admitted that she begged him to face it, begged him to say the words she already knew, and then silence. It happened on a night she still struggles to talk about. A night when the truth stopped hiding and finally showed its face. Nicole said she knew something was wrong long before that moment, but this was the night everything shattered. Her voice trembled when she described it, not from anger, but from the kind of fear that settles deep in your chest and refuses to leave. She said she walked into the room and felt the air change before she even saw him. He was sitting alone, shoulders tight, head in his hands, fighting something she couldn't see. And when he finally looked up, she saw it in his eyes, a darkness he couldn't push down anymore, a secret he had carried for years, hoping it would just disappear if he stayed busy enough, loud enough, famous enough. But pain doesn't disappear. It waits, it grows, it breaks through when you least expect it. Nicole said the truth came out in pieces, not shouted, not thrown, just spoken in a quiet, raw voice that almost didn't sound like his. He told her what he had been hiding, what he feared would destroy everything if anyone found out. And in that moment, she felt their marriage bend under a weight she never saw coming. Then came the twist she never wanted to admit. She wasn't the first to hear it. Someone close to them had tried to warn her years before. A friend whispered that something felt off. A family member said Keith was fighting demons bigger than fame could cover. But Nicole didn't want to believe it. She thought love could hold it all together. She thought silence could keep the world from breaking in. That night proved her wrong. She said the room went quiet after he finished. No shouting, no question. Just two people sitting in the dark with a truth that had finally come out of hiding. And then, nothing but silence. The moment the truth reached the outside world, everything changed. It was like the air around their story shifted, turning heavy and impossible to ignore. The media jumped first, pulling apart every detail, every look, every past interview, as if the answers had always been hiding in plain sight. Fans who once celebrated their love began asking hard questions. Some felt betrayed, others felt heartbroken, and many wondered how long she had been carrying this alone. Nicole didn't speak again after her first confession. She stepped back, letting the noise grow around her while she tried to breathe through the storm she had just unleashed. Because the truth didn't just reopen old wounds, it forced people close to them to finally face what they had tried to pretend wasn't real. Family members grew quiet. Friends who once defended the marriage now saw the cracks clearly. The fallout wasn't loud. It was cold, slow, and painfully real. Then came the twist that cut even deeper. Her closest friend stepped forward and quietly confirmed the moment Nicole finally broke. She said Nicole had called her late one night, barely able to speak, trying to hold herself together while admitting she couldn't carry the secret any longer. That phone call marked the point where silence turned into truth, where love gave way to something heavier. And when the world heard that, everything softened. People stopped judging and started understanding. They realized the story wasn't finished, not even close. Nicole herself said it best. This isn't the end. It's just the part where we stop pretending. She speaks about those years now with a softness that wasn't there before. Not broken, but gentler, like someone who finally understands the weight she carried. She says looking back isn't easy, yet it helps her see the truth with clearer eyes. She no longer blames herself for holding on too long. She no longer blames him for the things he couldn't face. With time, she learned that love can be quiet and painful at the same moment. She learned that protecting someone else can slowly undo you inside, and she learned that silence can feel safe, even when it's hurting you. She says the hardest part wasn't the secret itself, but the way it shaped her life without her noticing. It made her smaller. It made her careful. It made her forget she mattered too. Then she shared the part that surprised everyone. She didn't speak to expose him. She spoke because she needed to breathe again. She needed to stand in her own truth. She says it softly, almost like whispering, and this is the part nobody knows. She isn't sure what the future looks like now, but she walks toward it with a calmer heart. She carries the lesson, not the fear. She knows healing isn't quick, yet she finally feels light enough to take the next step. Some chapters stay open, waiting to be understood. If you want more stories like this, stay with us.